scenery, and oh, I had such a great night there, and it's amazing.
A area which are full motorhome camper vans. We talk about Park for Night.
Do you use it?
Not anymore.
No, I'm not really a fan of it anymore. I think it's clickbait Park for Night. It's clickbait for park apps. Like there's some clickbait for YouTube. Do you think?
Yeah, I just think it's shit.
I think, well, we've touched upon the subject quite a few times now, Park for Night, and how you kind of use it as a guide, and then it'll say, yeah, this place is off the road, because we don't want something beautiful always. We'll just sleep wherever. If it's pretty, that's a bonus, isn't it? But as long as it's safe and it's off the road, we're not in any harm's way, and we're not going to cause any harm to another driver. That's all we're asking for. But a lot of these Park for Nights are taking us down the route of homes, and they're kind of lighting. So they'll show the picture of, oh, you've got this beautiful scenery, and oh, I had such a great night there, and it's amazing.
We'll definitely return.
Yeah, but then when you go there, and it is a beautiful scenery to your left, but to your right they forget to say that they're actually on the A306 or something, and that there's a lot of traffic, and that the traffic speed's something like 50 miles an hour, so, which wouldn't bother us as long as the park up is slightly off the road, so you're sort of like driving off, isn't it? And then you've got like a verge of trees or something. There's a safety aspect, and then it stops that noise, stops that vibration. But I am noticing a lot of Park for Night stuff is also saying, yes, it's a beautiful free park up, but then when you read the comments, actually no, they're charging you £10 to stay at this car park.
Yeah.
And it used to be where a park up that you can't stay in overnight was a different colour to the free park ups, or the park ups you can stay overnight. I just find it very sort of.
And what's weird is
clickbaiting.
also the ones which say no parking. So if it's no parking, why is it on Park for Night?
Yeah.
If it's not even a park for day. Some of these places, some of these places no longer exist. Whoever is in charge of this app, they need to sort of update the software or have real time so people can remove it if it's not there. Don't go places where people don't want you.
It definitely needs updating.
Yeah, it's got some places over. We found one the other day. It's had one person comment on it, 2021. So it's not worth going there. Or somebody's wrote, oh, this is a great spot, and it's got no comments.
Yeah,
no
I think
pictures.
with that, people are going to it and going, well, this isn't really a park app, it's more of a verge, a passing verge. So people need to be putting that in there. I think Park for Night is quite good as a guide-ish.
Don't use the sat nav, because that won't take you to the place hardly ever. It takes you to a house about a mile down the road.
But generally, putting Park for Night aside, park apps recently where we've been around Somerset, is it Somerset or Mendip Hills? That sort of area.
Somerset, Wiltshire.
Western-super-Mare. Awful. They're awful.
Yeah.
There's just the car parks have height barriers. Obviously they charge a lot of them, which is fair enough. We choose not to pay for any
So we
park
just
up.
happily drive on, not a problem.
Yeah, but you've got height barriers. We wanted to go and visit a town and do some filming around said town and probably spend some money in said town. But we could not find anywhere to park our van.
No.
So again, it's kind of, these places are stopping people, whether you're a delivery driver or you live in your van, or you just own a van, they're stopping that type of group of people.
Yeah. You might own a works van and it's a Saturday and the only vehicle you have is a works van and you want to drive to the place to do your weekend shopping. But you can't park there because you've got a van. So we'll discriminate against you for that. But that's fine, because what we're trying to do is obviously stop the motorhomes and the van life people, because obviously we're bad.
And when we were driving through Western, now we've been to Western many times in a car,
Yeah.
and park up's really easy in a car. But as we were driving through yesterday, I did notice a lot of the bays. Some of these cars could barely fit in these bays.
Oh yeah.
So how is even a small wheel base or a medium wheel base van supposed to park in these bays? Because it's not designed for people like us that have vans or live in vans. I don't understand why. They're losing a lot of money, and it is a discrimination against people that have a van.
It's literally cutting
Or a
the nose
truck.
off to spite their face. Isn't it? It's literally is to go, well, we don't want them, so therefore we will have them. And they don't think of the bigger picture that people might spend. What they don't want is obviously the convoys of people. We went somewhere yesterday. It was by a lake in Mendips. There was a lovely parking area, and it was like, oh, gates shut, owned by Bristol Water, gates shut at night, no parking. It was a huge parking space.
It was beautiful.
Massive parking space by the lake, paying display meter, but they close it at night. And I get, they don't want lots of vans turning up or whatever like that, but one or two surely wouldn't hurt. I don't know. Would one or two vans really knock the balance? I mean, we drove through it to turn around anyway, and there wasn't a lot of cars there. And you think,
I guess.
I don't know.
If they I get it, because if they did open it up and van people went in or motorhomes went in, so say that you went in, there's at the most say 10. Then becomes a thing like you've got when you go to somewhere like the Downs in Bristol.
Yeah.
Or there was that place in Glastonbury, wasn't there, where you've got a community of caravans and
Hello.
van people. Hello. Can we meet your dog again? Yeah, I guess you have a community of people that go to these places.
Yeah, but I think
And then
if
it builds up and
they
becomes
have
more and more and
these
more
big
and more.
areas, but then have possibly a area which are full motorhome camper vans. I mean, that place yesterday was huge, and they could have put maybe 5 spaces,
Yeah, they could have done, you're right.
and be more inclusive. More people might go to the area. They had a coffee shop, ice cream shop, and all that stuff, which possibly people would buy.
Yeah.
It's a strange.
Yeah, I think
Companies are struggling, but they don't want to try and make money in other ways. They just see us as a bad guy and can't see beyond that. I think a lot of things.
I think, and also being on the road now full time for 8 months, you are noticing that there are certain areas and pockets of England and Wales that is just awful for anybody that is living a different alternative lifestyle. Parkouts are becoming very hard to find. Again, we don't want something beautiful and picturesque like this. We just want to be able to go somewhere like an industrial estate. I've noticed a lot of double yellow lines are popping up in places now to stop for vans just being able to park up. I don't understand why, if you can park your car there for the night, why can't you park a van there? There's no difference. You'll maybe taking up a little bit more space, but 9 times out of 10, you are moving on the next day. You have taken your rubbish with you. I get a lot of people leave a mess, but then a lot of people in cars leave messes.
Yeah.
And it is going to get to a point where we won't have anywhere to park at anymore.
Well, again, yesterday about a cleaning up situation next to said Mendip Lake, we woke up and opened the door, and again, lots of geese, swans, ducks. It was a lovely lake on this lay-by, which was rocking quite a lot because of a busy main road. Apart from the road, it was a lovely spot, and the McDonald's cups and the McDonald's bags and all the other crisp packets and crap which was around.
Yeah.
So, we got out there and had a good clean up and got a good bag of rubbish. There is a bin in the lay-by as well.
2 bins.
2 bins in the lay-by. So, we just cleared the bag of rubbish up, went down, put it in the bin, went in, had a cup of coffee. The clouds ran over. I thought, oh, perfect time to take the patch for a walk. Went out, rubbish on the floor. So what had happened is there's some older people in cars who have gone looking at the birds,
A lot of photographers, wasn't there? with
photographers, big
cameras.
fancy cameras, binoculars, all that stuff. And obviously the lens was a bit dirty, so you get the blue cloth out, you wipe it, you throw it on the floor. Obvious, really. Well, I don't know why I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
So when we went for a walk, I picked it up, and this guy looked at me like I grew an extra head, really, because I just picked up this rubbish, which clearly he knew wasn't mine, and I just walked down and put it in the bin. But he kind of looked at me like, that was there before you got here, you didn't drop that. But
Yeah.
that's what we do.
I think my conclusion of van life park ups in 8 months is Scotland is the way to go. Scotland has our backs.
Possibly-
Again, with bins, there's bins, isn't there, in
Yeah.
a lot of places in Scotland, whereas a lot of park ups don't have bins down there. So.
But again, it's not somewhere I probably would want to go this time of year, summertime.
No.
Because obviously everyone's doing that NC 500. I'm sure there's places out there, many places out there where people don't go. So, maybe that's something to look at. But yeah,
Yeah, and another thing I think as well, if you know that area that you're in, so say we knew Weston-super-Mare, then we would know all these little pockets of places. Like when we hit the Shire, we know there's some really nice locations, don't we, where
Yeah.
we can park up. And that is in the city, but we know that we're safe there, it's quiet there, we're not going to get bothered, it's not a dog in sight, there isn't loads of youths coming down, boom, 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 with their music, and we're not going to get shunted by a big ass lorry behind us.
No.
And I guess that's in every little pocket of
but then Park for
places.
Night also is the devil of Nap, because what you don't want is to promote places.
Yeah, that was going to be the next.
Because
subject,
you know what I mean. So we
Should
know
we
where
be-
we're parked
yeah.
now. Where we are parked is lovely. People come, park their car, take a dog to walk, go back to the car, drive off. We're not bothered there. It's lovely. It's quiet. People are polite. They say hello to us, good morning, carry on about their business. We're fine.
And it's not overpopulated.
It's
with
not
vans,
overpopulated.
is it, with other vans?
Again, if certain places are on Park for Night, everyone wants to go there and go, oh, I want to go give this a 3-star for whatever reasons, or a 4-star. But the more people go, it will then start pissing off the locals. So it's kind of a catch-22. So Park for Night, yes, it can be helpful. More often than not, for us, it's not. But then what you're doing is alienate the community which lives there. Again,
Yeah.
it's a difficult one.
I think I would like to ask you guys that are full-time van lifers, how do you get around your park ups if you don't use Park for Night? I'm quite happy for you to send us a personal message if you don't want people to know this information, or if you can leave us a comment. Just give us some tips
Yeah.
of how you cope with being in a
What do you do?
neighbourhood that you're not sure of, you don't know it that well. What are the tips that you use that isn't connected to Park for Night in order for you to find a safe park up?
I mean,
for a
yes,
day or
we
two?
know that we can park in a residential estate. We know this.
Yeah, we've done
we
it.
know how to park.
Yeah.
We were not in front of somebody's window,
Yeah,
side
yeah,
of
we
the
know
house,
all that.
by a wall, by a fence, whatever. We know all this. And yes, we do industrial estates quite often, and again, we know no WL lines, and you're not, if a lorry can turn or whatever like that, great. But we're on about just the general places. How would you know it's a good place? Or would you just have that feeling and think, oh, this is nice, this will do, I'm tired? Again, we touched on in a previous video about arriving late, leaving early. I mean, we don't do that. Should we do that?
No, never.
I don't think we should.
No.
We're too lazy to get up early to drive off.
I just want to know, somebody that's been living in a van for a couple of years, and they, I'm not talking about your local area, I'm talking about an area you've never been to. What are your tips? Do you look for, I don't know, again, I could tell you the tips for us, so maybe look for your local allotment, because normally there's a pond or there's a walk and there's somewhere to park up. What do you look for when you're in a new town? I'm not talking about major cities, because we never tend to go to major cities, but if you're in a small town, small city, is there something that you look out for because you know somewhere around that area is a quiet place to park up for safe? I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
if I'm coming across
I get that.
verbally right or not.
So anyway, drop us a comment. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear more from people that live in their vans full time rather than weekend people, because I think when you've been on the road constantly looking for park-ups every night or every other day, you kind of have a more in-depth knowledge about it.
And then also in turn, if you slow down your travelling because of it, you go, well, I know this area, these 4 spaces are the best. I will just alternate these 4 places, a couple of nights here, a couple of nights there, a couple of nights there, and back around your circle, because you know you're safe. And obviously if you have work and things like that. Or are you still thinking, I've still got the bug, I'm still loving life, I'm still travelling on?
Yeah, I guess there will come a point when we'll go, like,
We're here for a month.
as it gets harder and harder and harder to find park-ups, we will be localised in a place. But if you're anything like us, we get kind of itchy feet, and after a couple of days in one spot, we're kind of like, I need to move on now.
Yeah.
So would it get to a point where we go, okay, Fort William is a beautiful place. I'm just banging Fort William out of my head. That's the place, greatest park-ups ever. Does it then come to a point where we end up moving to that area and literally just constantly driving around that area and weaving in and out of those spots that we know about?
Yeah. Again, like I said,
leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment. So we're going to leave this video here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it a bit interesting. You know, hope you've got some comments to throw at us about it. You know, and let's have a chat about it.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Until next time.
Safe travels.
Thanks for watching.